Hi family, how are you? Mwah! Welcome to MKJTV. No, you do not need to adjust your computer screens. It is I actually realized that I haven't worn my hair unstretched on YouTube. Crazy. I mean, I do it like out and about, but I never have worn my hair. I have never worn. Guys, I'm losing my English. Oh my gosh. I need to like go to America so I can come back and be a better English teacher. I'm reading every book I can get my hand on. I still am like English. So anyway, so this is my hair unstretched. And basically stretched pretty much means I don't take the time to like when I wash it, I don't take the time to like leave it straight or pulled. So this is just fresh out of the wash. This is what I'm looking like. This is what I'm working with. So as you can see, it is not stretched. Like stretched, I would like pull it back in a ponytail and like make a bun or something. And then when I take my bun down, it's semi-straight. But with this, right now I'm just twisting it around my finger just because. With this, it's just stretched on top of my head. So, ooh, that looks crazy. I don't know why I just did that. But anyway, we're going to continue with the video. So this is my hair unstretched. Can I tell you, I didn't realize I hadn't gone to school with my hair unstretched either, right? My kids think I'm a rock star. Hilarious. I wasn't sure what reaction I was going to get because normally my hair is some form of maintained to look semi-assimilated, right? But this is just like raw and uncut, and I don't think I've ever worn my hair like this to school. That's gonna bother me. I'm sorry guys, through the rest of the video. Okay, so my kids are giving a teacher. They were so excited, and they were just like, teacher, your hair, how? Teacher, how? And I was like, water, conditioner, I don't know what to tell you. They were like, teacher, make mine. And I was like, I can't do that for you. So then this whole discussion of how can I get this different hair and all this other stuff. And so I was trying to explain like, well, when I want to change it up, I throw on a wig. Sometimes I add hair. Sometimes it's my hair. It's whatever. And they were like, teacher, you are amazing. And I was like, oh, you guys are so cute. And then they were really upset, like, why can't we change our hair? And I was like, oh, well, God made everyone different. So, your hair looks the way it looks, but you can change it too. When you get older, you can change your color, you could cut it, whatever. They just were not having it. They wanted to like be like me. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. So yes, this is me unstretched. Speaking of being individuals, I want to take a praise break, and a PSA to my new viewers. Welcome. I'm so happy. Like, I love when it's like, you have a new subscriber. I love that because that means more perspective, more insight, more stories, more individuals to share my story with. And I love it. Like, I think that's a beautiful thing. I think people should communicate more, should connect more. And I feel like YouTube is providing that opportunity for people to connect. I have met so many, half of my friends here are like from YouTube. Half of my friends in South Korea are people that I met from YouTube. Who knew? So, however, I really want to say this. If you're new to this station, I ramble. I'm a talker. People who have been following me for years, they will attest. I'm a talker. That's what I do. And so at first I used to shy away from it and not really want to go too much into depth with saying anything because I felt like, oh, I'll be long-winded. But you know what? I've learned to embrace that's a part of me. It's a gift. And just like any gift, it's not for everybody. Like, you can buy somebody a gift. If they don't vibe well with it, they'll give it to somebody else. And so I suggest you do the same. If you've joined my station and you cannot keep your attention span for longer than 10 minutes, this is not the station for you. So I won't be because I want ultimately for you to be happy, right? So if you can't do this for longer than 10 minutes, then you should probably unsubscribe and maybe head over to a different station that can appease you. And I totally won't be offended. Much light and love to you. For example, I forgot your name, Jada Parks of Jada. I don't know. You know who you are. Why would you subscribe and then comment on every video? Oh, it's taking too long to get to the point. Oh, it's 10 minutes into the video. But why subscribe? Dude, unsubscribe because I'm not going to stop being me because it makes you uncomfortable. That's crazy. God, no. Like, no, just no. And furthermore, you're the new kid on the block. That's like going to a party, asking somebody, as soon as you walk in the door, who's the DJ? Let's change the music. You just got here. I need you to figure out what the vibe is, and you get in the flow of what's going on. So, I'm not mad. I'm just saying, this is my station. I'm not going to change my flow for you. Who does that? Sit down, enjoy, kick back and enjoy. And if you can't get with it, as I said, unsubscribe. Life will go on. My life will go on, and I'm pretty sure yours will too. Okay, so bing, back to what I was going to say. Now, today I have 2 videos that I want to make. The first of which, okay, I'm going to give you a name because I think that this is a question many, many, many women ask, but I don't want you to feel alienated or called out or anything like that. So we're going to call you SM squared. You know who you are. And first of all, thank you so much for that, your video responses. I love getting video responses because it makes me feel more connected with my viewers. Like, I can see you or I can hear your voice, and it just feels more interactive instead of just me talking to the screen. So thank you for sending that in. I really, really appreciate that. But you asked a very legitimate question. Where do we draw the line between reality and settling? All girls want to know this question, right? Like, should I just settle? Do I really need to wait for a guy that has X, Y, and Z? Okay, so we're going to tackle that today. And here's just a disclaimer. I am not a guru. This is my opinion about the matter. I'm trying to remember to look over here. This is my opinion about the matter. This has been what's worked for me. This is kind of where I'm at in my life with this situation. So I'm just going to answer you honestly and openly. Which, side note, just to backtrack a little bit, this is why I don't time myself. I try to be under 10 minutes, but if I'm not, I just let it flow. Because when I try and, I never want this channel to become scripted. You know what I mean? I never want it to be like fake or whatever. And anytime I've tried to like minimize the video's over and I'm like, oh dang, I should have said this, I should have said that, right? I want you guys, I want it to be an even flow, and whatever comes out, right? So, with that being said, first let me start with this. Your reality is your reality. I can't answer you directly and say your standards are too high, you're not living in a real world, you know, you should just settle, blah, blah. I can't say that because I'm not you. I can't live in your shoes. What I can do though is tell you that because your reality is relative, right? And because your standards and what you would deem as settling is different from what, say, maybe I would deem as settling, you do need to be confident in who you are and what you want out of life. I definitely think that's step 1. 2, me personally, I don't feel that relationships are based on the other person. I feel like it's based on you. And so you set the tone for the relationship you want. You put out the energy, you put out the vibes for what you want in return. I actually heard one guy on this movie say, I think it was, he's just not that into you. And the guy was like, every woman is in the exact relationship she wants to be in. And at first it sounds really like cruel, but it's true. Like, if a guy's not treating you well, if a guy's not whatever, then leave. He's doing that because you're still there. When you leave, it won't be an issue because you won't be in a relationship, right? So I feel like the same holds true when you're in your singleness. Like, you need to deem what is valuable to your life and what you want in a man. Again, this is just me. I have 2 major things I want to share with you. One is the 3 C's. The second one is self-check. I'm going to start with self-check. Self-check is something I do and I've been doing since like college. Anything that I have on my list, anything that I desire from a man, I make sure I'm putting that out. I'm not going to be like, oh, I want a man with 6-pack and da-da-da-da-da, 6 foot, blah, 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 blah. Okay, first of all, I'm 4'11". That's one. I am not getting any taller. As much as I would like to click my heels and magically be like 5 foot even at least, I'm 4'11". I'm always going to be 4'11". So me wanting some gargantuan guy, probably won't happen. 2, I don't have 8-pack, 12-pack. How am I gonna require that a guy has a 6-pack? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. So I do present myself well. I put myself together well because I enjoy looking nice. That's something I do for me. But because I put that out, generally the men who approach me are well put together because that's what I carry myself like that. So I definitely would say start with a self-check. Whatever is on your list, and you did share with me your list, whatever is on your list, he needs to be Asian, he needs to be in love with God, he needs to accept my child, blah, 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 blah. All that's your truth, that's your reality, run with it. But what are you bringing to the table? He loves God. Are you working on your relationship with God? Are you doing something in the kingdom that says, hey, I'm a God-fearing woman? Can people tell that? Do they know that? Or do you have to let them know that? I'm not saying you specifically. I'm using this as an analogy. Also, this guy has to be Asian. Well, you have cut off, I don't even know the percentage, but it's a lot of men that could potentially love you the way you need to be loved, because sometimes we have stuff we want, but really we should be open to what we need, because God knows where we're going. He knows like the type of woman we're going to be in 5 years, 3 years, 6 years, down the line. So you don't want a guy that's a good fit now, and then as you're growing into who you are, he's the ill fit later. You know what I mean? You want to be able to grow together and headed in the same direction. So definitely, as you're going through your list, what are you bringing to the table? Like, if you have all these requirements for him to bring to the table, you need to be bringing the legs to the table. I personally think you're selling yourself short by only wanting an Asian man. Like, even if you're attracted to Asian guys and that's your preference, fine. But if someone comes along who's not Asian, and that person unlocks that part of you that makes you feel feminine, that makes you feel wanted, that makes you feel glorious, and just makes you feel, like they give you the kick at the end of the kiss, then go with it, run with it. He could be orange. Like, it doesn't matter. Let him do what he do in your life, and y'all do it together. Make it work, make it poppin', make it exciting. And then maybe you guys can live in Asia, maybe you guys can travel to Asia, maybe you guys can enjoy the Asian culture together, but he doesn't necessarily have to be Asian. Understand what I'm saying? I just feel like when we limit ourselves to one specific kind of person, then we cut people off, right? And I could go somewhere else with that, but I'm going to let that be. So basically, you get my point, right? So whatever you're sending out, you need to be able to give that the same way. Whatever you're saying you want, you need to be able to be and prepared to be the opposite. If you're not, you're single. Get yourself together. Get it together. You want a man that's got, this type of look, then you be on your P's and Q's. And I'm talking to myself now. Run a little more. Eat a little less, drink a little more water, make yourself healthy, because what you want to look at, he probably looks like that because he goes hiking or because he is into sports or whatever, and you can't be a couch potato, and I want a man who travels. Well, you're gonna have to get up and travel yourself. So yeah, that's self-check. This is something I do for me. The second one is something my Korean big sister taught me, called the 3 C's. First is commitment. If a man cannot commit to his own future, if he cannot commit to his family, if he cannot commit to being a man, like if he can't commit to being a better man, is that necessarily someone that you would want to connect with forever? Like, they'll probably have a hard time committing to your relationship. And I don't just mean in terms of cheating, not cheating. I mean, is he committed to growing with you? Is he committed to loving you through your issues? Is he committed to dealing with your family? Like, because there's nothing worse than a relationship where the guy is faithful, but he's either emotionally cheating or emotionally absent because he's not committed to what you're trying to build. You don't want to be the only one building. Like, that is not fun at all. So definitely you need to see that he's committed, and you need to be ready to be committed. Are you ready to accept him with his faults and his issues? Are you ready to grow with him? Are you ready to be committed to what it takes to being his woman? If the kind of guy that you want. If not, get yourself together. That's what your singleness is for. Get yourself together, right? Enjoy life along the way, but get yourself together. Okay, number 2 on the 3 C's is commission. Now, you said you were a believer. I'm a believer as well, but this commission can work for anyone, but I'm specifically speaking about believers. Okay, so we're on the road. We're doing God's plan. Da-da-da-da-da-da. It's awesome. Ideally, you want to meet a guy on this same road, headed in the same direction with the Lord. Like, you want to be this way, right? You want to be linear in your relationship. Unfortunately, people who go to church, oh, you also love the Lord, let's get together and get married. But unfortunately, you're still headed in this direction. I ran out of arms. You're still headed in this direction, right? So he's over there, you're over there, and you're wondering why you're having issues because your commission is not a complement to each other. So, for example, I'm obviously called to the missions field. Hence, I live in Asia. I have no future plans of moving back to the U.S. And if I were to connect with someone who believes their call is to open a charter school in Chicago, that's not gonna work because the entire relationship. Now, I'm a Southern girl. I would move for my man. If I got married and my man was like, let's go over here, I'd follow him there because I feel like once you're married, that's the wife's job. He shouldn't be following you. You should follow him. But that's just me. And maybe it's a Southern thing. I don't know. So, but I'd be miserable, which is why I wouldn't marry someone that I would have to follow out of my flow of destiny, if that makes sense. Like, I'd be miserable. I would love him. I'd be a great mother. I would keep the house and find something to do in my field. But my heart would still be void because that deposit that I was getting from living out my destiny and my purpose is going to be empty because I'm not in Asia. I'm not doing missions with this particular people group that the Lord has laid on my heart. So commission is important. That's just an example. But commission is important. If you're not saved, if you're not a Christian, this applies to you too. You don't want to be an art fanatic and this guy has no idea who Gustavo is or Leonardo da Vinci. I don't know. Like, if he's never heard of these people, he's never even been to an art gallery, and when you mention to him going, he's like, ugh, just go to work, I see you when I see you. You know what I mean? He's not into what you're doing. You're not headed in the same direction. Why connect yourself with someone you are on the same page? Yes, opposites attract, but we're not talking about things that we like and don't like. We're talking about life decisions and the aspects of life that make us who we are, right? So commission, it is important. You should be traveling the same road, not crossing paths at a fork in the road. The last C, chemistry. You need chemistry. As deep as people try to be, I'm like, stand up in the baby pool. You have got to be attracted to this person on some level. Now, granted, I've dated people that initially, this right here did not catch me at all. But over time, how I met them, the situation that I met them in, I got a chance to see their personality. I got a chance to see how they were, their perspectives on life, their ambition, their intelligence, and that's what became attractive. Then eventually I found something about them that I loved, like their smile or their laugh. I had this one particular gentleman that I was dating, and when he laughed, it just sounded like the purest, just overjoyed. It just goosebumps every time, and I fell in love with that. I did. I mean, I fell in love with him, but I fell in love with his ability to just let loose and just like have the world come out of his mouth. And he had a really deep voice. It was like, whoa, I loved it. So anyway, so yeah, chemistry. You need to be connected on some level, because I've also being transparent, put your kids away because we're talking about grown-up stuff. I have also been in sexual relationships with people and there was no chemistry. I kind of was like, trying to make it work. I was open to it being something, and there was no real like chemistry there. First of all, it makes for very boring sex. Secondly, and I'm not condoning premarital sex, I'm just saying this is my experience. Obviously, I am celibate now, but so one, it made it very boring sex. I didn't want to try anything. I didn't want to be freaky and kinky because there's no chemistry there. Two, you know, our chemistry actually is a science to our body. When our eyes and our emotions are pleased, the dopamine, I believe, that is released in our brain also is connected to lubrication. And so you are more lubricated when you are more chemically connected. There is, you know, a science to it. So even intercourse becomes better and more enjoyable when there's chemistry. It flows better, right? And yeah, I could kind of go there, but we're gonna keep it PG-19. So my point to this is you need the 3 C's. You need the chemistry, you need commission, and you need commitment. So with the self-check and the 3 C's, hopefully you will have a mindset that when a man comes, you won't block him out, you won't cut him short. And I really just want to take a pause and say this. Ladies, a man's job is not to make you happy. He should not have to stand on his head to let you know you're beautiful, to let you know you're wonderful. You should know this about yourself already. When he says, you should be like, yeah, welcome to the party. I know. Well, I'm glad you know now. Like, it shouldn't be fighting World War II with you. And if you have trust issues and things like that, again, this is what your singleness is for. You need to take that to God and get that together. Like, you can't say, I want a man, but I can't trust men. That doesn't work. That's an oxymoron. Like, that's just, it doesn't work. Like, you need to be at a place where you can receive what a good man is supposed to be to you, because a good man is still a man. So if he gives you these things and you're constantly pushing them away, you only have to tell me no, like, twice. Funny story. I was joking with Oprah, and you know, in the States, when people say, hey, can you pass me something? He's like, no. Like, you're just kidding. It's sarcasm. But I had to learn I can't joke with him like that, because that really bothers him. So sometimes I still slip up and do it. But for the most part, I'm pretty good about not saying no or whatever, because he doesn't like that. It doesn't make him feel good. He doesn't like the feeling of that rejection, that immediate rejection. And so I don't do that. So I said that story to say it's the same thing with you and your oncoming relationship. Like, you have to be ready to receive what that man wants to give you without rejecting it away. Because if you reject him, he's gonna go. Because that you continually to say, oh, no, and have all these insecurities and reject the man that he's trying to be to you. What that translates, I'm not a man, but I'm pretty good about vibing with them. What that says is, I am not interested in what you're giving. What you're giving as a man is not good enough. No. And eventually he's going to pick up his toys and go to a different sandlot, and you can't be salty, and you can't be like, all men are dogs, and no, you did that to yourself. So I hope that answered your question. So you have your list. That's your truth. I can't tell you that list is too long or too high, or your standards are too high. If that's what you want, that's what you want. But be willing to wait for that to come. If you're not willing to wait, then figure out what you can be flexible about. Does he have to be Asian? Not really. Does he need to drive a green Ferrari? You could probably live without it, right? So go through your list, figure out what you can be flexible on, and then the things that are really, really important to you, figure out why they're important. Why does he have to be a Christian? What does that mean to you? Why are you a Christian? Like, you know what I mean? Like, really assess what you're waiting for. And in between time, live life. Like I always tell you guys, like, in your singleness, live life. You're not single waiting to be married. You're a single person with a life to live. Live your life. If a man comes along, awesome, enjoy it. If he doesn't, enjoy it. You have your whole life in front of you. And especially if you're older, you have even less of time to be worried about whether a man hops on board or not. Like, live out your life, live out your purpose, live out your dreams, and Even if you don't have a warm pair of legs to cuddle up to at night, hopefully you have friends, you have family, you have, you're pouring yourself into something, and that should suffice for something. You can live without a man. It's quite possible to do, and I've been doing it for a while, and I'll do it until I need to. And if I never get married, I'm still gonna live life. And so I suggest you guys do the same. So I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your question. I hope I answered it. If I didn't, you guys always know you're welcome. And some of you have done it. You're welcome to write back and ask some follow-up questions. I'm totally cool about giving you whatever time and energy you need. All right. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'll see you guys later on MKJTV. Bye.